So I'm going to start getting to work on this 2002 Tahoe. It's got a 5.3 liter V8 in it. It's an engine code Z, which means it's a flex fuel, and it's I believe it's an L59. The only mod I've done up here so far is that AEM brute force air intake. That's the only thing I've done on the engine so far. Only other mods I've done on the car are the Nerf bars, the wheels, and I did a Flowmaster Delta Flow 50 series, which we'll listen to in a second. So I'm at a point where I could feasibly start tearing into this thing, draining the radiator and oil and start moving on. But there's a couple things that I want to do before I do that, and that is check vacuum pressure, and I also want to check compression. So according to the trusty Haynes directory, you need to hook the vacuum up to this little thing right here, which, if I'm interpreting that correctly, is this thing right here. Right, I'm going to click on it. I can't see. Right there. Little thing sticking out. See any way of getting that thing off at all. And I'm afraid to break it off. And I've read online where a couple people have broken it off, but I'm not going to break it off. So I'm going to check vacuum where I know how to check vacuum, and that's from the booster over here. Right yonder. Let's get it right here. Right here. So I'm going to check vacuum there instead. And the engine's warm, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. All right. And there's what the book says there, 17 to 22. Fairly steady needle. Is good. So we're good. On to the next. Alright, so my goal here is to do a cam swap and replace a bunch of valve train parts. But I am a little concerned with 180,000 miles. I guess my concern is that if I'm going to go that far, should I pull the engine and do the bottom end as well? And at this point, I don't know. But what I am going to do is I'm going to do a compression test on each of the cylinders and see if that helps me make a decision at a later time. Okay, compression check, step 1. Remove the spark plugs. Yay. So to anyone who's ever done this before, starting from the bottom right here, if that's cylinder 1, 3, 5, 7, and that's 2, 4, 6. Anybody who's done this before knows why number 8's not there yet. And they're laughing at me. And that's fine. They can laugh. I'm going to take a little break here. Number 8 is really hard to get to. Well, it's been about 20 minutes, and I got number 8. And now it's time for a beer. Okay, so in order to do the compression test, as an example, I've got the compression test gauge in the number 3 cylinder right now. It was the easiest one to get to. And the number 3 cylinder. There's the gauge right there. All right, Robbie, go. stop. And there's our reading of, what is that, 192. 190, that looks, yeah, right around 192, 193. All right. Thanks, Robbie. Okay, as a video guy, I hate vertical videos. However, this is one case where it actually makes a little bit of sense. So here we are. We're looking at all the cylinders, and we're looking at the PSI for all the cylinders. Our highest looks like cylinder 7.5 at 200, and our lowest cylinders 4 and 6 at 180, which, if my math is correct, is a differentiation of 10%. Which is, I guess, in the range to not worry about. Looks like we've got excellent pressure in each of the cylinders. This was not a problem engine, by the way. I was just doing this as a precautionary kind of thing. But I think all in all, from a compression standpoint, the engine looks like it's in pretty good shape. Don't seem to have any leakage. Looks like I don't have to worry about piston rings at this time, and it looks like the valves are seating appropriately. And if I understand everything correctly, it's not necessary to do a wet test unless I had something dramatically different from all the other numbers. So I hope I'm correct in assuming that I can skip the wet test and move right along. So that's where I'm at.